Ali complicates matters by leaving his wife, Belinda, at home with their children and taking another woman, Veronica Porsche, to the Philippines.
We had a big reception when we got there, and that's when Muhammad introduced Veronica as his wife. Somebody tried to say it was in the paper that Muhammad was there with his wife, but he introduced Veronica because I was standing right there to Marcos and said, "This is my wife." You know, that's a game guy that can do that, especially when you have a wife back in the States.
And probably, you know, one of the most interesting moments of my life was the moment that I was interviewing Ali in Manila a couple of mornings before the fight with Frazier. We were doing this interview for the Today Show, sitting in the living room of his hotel suite, and at that moment, Belinda, his wife, arrived at the airport in the Philippines, having read in the newspapers and heard the reports about the woman, Veronica, his next wife, who was then in the Philippines.
I remember when Belinda arrived, she came right into the hotel. It was a quick arrival, quick departure.
And she burst into the suite as we were conducting this interview. Ali very gracefully excused himself, went into the bedroom with Belinda. From the bedroom, there came loud noises, raised voices, you might say. And Angelo Dundee, ever the diplomat, turned to me and to my camera crew and said, "I think maybe we should go get a cup of coffee," which we did. We went downstairs, had a cup of coffee, waited about an hour, came back up. There was peace, there was no blood in sight, and we finished the interview.
Gotta hold the gorilla. Gotta capture the gorilla.
Ali, psychologically savage. Frazier worse than anybody I've ever seen. I mean, worse than Foreman, because Foreman only got it for one fight. This guy got it for 3 fights.
Get the man on out of here.
I'm gonna do something to you.
You got all the time.
And you're in Manila, you're my country too. I'm gonna win every round, because over in that country, the one who wins is the one who loses is the one who get hit on the head the most. I'm gonna hit you on your head the most.
I promise.
I promise you I'll hit you on your head the most.
That, when I come down today, you know, we're not gonna get all worked up, and we're not gonna make
I'm just telling
too
the truth.
much noise, because
I'm just telling the truth.
I don't want to be branded with that.
I'm just gonna hit you on your head. I'll hit your head.
Get about the
I'm
head
just gonna hit you on your head.
What about your body?
And not really recognizing that he was really being a little too cruel.
It's gonna be a thriller and a chiller and a killer when I get the gorilla in Manila.
Dug deep into Frazier's psyche. I mean, you know, it's just, you start to kid with a guy and you start to get under his skin, and when any little thing you say becomes huge. Well, Frazier was that. By this time, he had really perfected his act. He had a little gorilla. He'd pull out and punch the little gorilla, and he had a chilla in Manila, you know what I mean, chilla in Manila with a thriller in Manila with a gorilla in Manila. By the time he got through rhyming, chilla, thriller, Manila, gorilla, I mean, he just wouldn't stop. He had 50 new rhymes every day.
Well, number one, he's too ugly to be the world heavyweight champion. Joe Frazier's so ugly, his face should be donated to the Bureau of Wildlife. Man's too slow. Man's too ugly. Man can't think. He's a geechee. He's some snuffs. There he is, Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier. Get him out of here. You make me nervous. Get him out of here, man.
But Frazier was training hard. I mean, Frazier was training hard.
You really want to hurt him, do you, for 15 rounds?
You better believe for 15 rounds, I want to beat on him.
You see, that's what I meant when I said, do you hate him? I mean, there's this thing in you that wants really to hurt him.
Well, the main thing about it, I figure like when you knock a man out, you take him out of his misery. Suffer him a little bit, beating on him, that hurts him more than anything in the world.
I'm going to knock him out. I'm going to knock him out. He must fall. He must fall. He must fall.
Something I tell him during the instructions, when referees give us instructions, of the first clinch or two we're in, whisper it in his ear. He's a little shorter now, so I can just look right down on him. You know, Joe so-and-so, so-and-so. Joe so-and-so, be good, Joe, now. I'd be a good, but no, now, Joe, don't do that now. You know, I got something to tell him.
He says that he's going to whisper something to you, the first clinch. Do you have any guess what he's going to whisper?
Whatever it is, I'm going to whisper right back to him the same thing.
Ali Frazier 3 was Ali Frazier 3. There's nothing to compare it to. We come into this arena in Quezon City. There's no air conditioning. It's a circular arena, so there's like a gap between the roof and the top of the cement. And air ostensibly comes through there, and there are some kind of ceiling fans, you know. That's the theory. In practice, the referee should have been Dante, and I guess Veronica should have been Beatrice, because this was a trip through hell.
So when the fight started, First of all, to set the scene, it was 10 o'clock in the morning. It was an enormously hot day in a closed arena that didn't have air conditioning and packed. I mean, you couldn't get another person in there sideways. They were hanging in the, when they say hanging in the rafters, they were hanging in the rafters.
Proudly present the Thriller in Manila. Introducing, in the blue corner, from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, USA, the challenger and former heavyweight champion of the world, Joe Frazier. In the red corner, from Louisville, Kentucky, USA, the heavyweight champion of the world, Muhammad Ali. 15 rounds for the heavyweight championship of the world.
Frazier smiling as Ali talks to him. It's 15 rounds. The ring is 21 by 21, a rather large ring.
Which is beneficial for Ali.
And which should help the champion. It's 15 rounds, and here is round one. Frazier staying low to get away from that jab. Smiling. Ali opening up fast. Frazier looking to work the body. Frazier keeps smiling as he corners Ali to the rope. Ali beats him to the punch. The referee calls Padilla. Ali apparently doesn't want to get trapped on the rope. Good punches by Frazier now as he's got Ali on the rope. Ali with the rope-a-dope. Frazier looking for an opening here. This is almost a replica of Ali and Foreman last year.
I remember one exchange right in front of us, right over where we were at, where he was just coming on. Frazier was coming on. He thumped two tremendous body shots. And Ali, because he likes to talk to people and get them off their game, said, and they told me you were through, Joe. And they told me you were finished, Joe. And Joe said, they lied, champ. They lied, and thumped him two more great hooks to the body. And when he got through thumping his body, because he was smaller and Ali was taller, Ali had two tremendous blood blisters where his hip bone is. Big hematomas, collections of purple collections of blood. He took a beating like you could never believe anybody could take a beating. But such is a measure of Ali's toughness.
6. 1/3.
The tactics had to be the same. They had to be the same because of his stature and his strengths.
In the first fight, Eddie had figured that whenever Ali dropped his hand to uppercut, which was a favorite thing, he'd drop his hand, then he was completely free to throw a hook at the same moment he threw it, and that caught him and dropped him. He hit him a million times with that hook. Eddie was right. Futch was right on the money.
I don't know what they score for aggressiveness in the Philippines, but Frazier has been the aggressor all the way.
But nothing happened. Because Ali, I don't know what made that guy take that kind of punch. He wasn't built like a guy who could take a punch. He's built like a ballet dancer. I mean, he seemed like you could just knock him right over. But he was an incredibly tough man and more competitive than anybody could possibly dream of or write of. The fight went in segments. First, Ali did real good. Then Joe came back and said, no, I'm still here, and here comes some of mine. And then he came on real good.
This is a good round for Frazier.
Well, as I said earlier, Joe is